Yo, yo, yo. Hey, yo, what's good to all my heroes and villains out there? You know who it is. It's your boy, LC. Guys, welcome to another episode of Heroes and Villains Collectibles. And, yo, this is going to be a good one, yo. We got some Marvel updates. Few videos that I wanted to go ahead and check out. And then at the end of the videos, what we're going to do is I have a hot toy. Right here, unboxing. This one just came in yesterday, so yeah, so that way we can open it up, and I'll give you a hint. It's Marvel. Okay, so that way we can open this one up. But yeah, guys. So yep, we have a lot of Marvel news. Hold up, because I was setting up the YouTube live, and then like some weird message came out. Let me make sure the audio is good on here. Let me see. Where's my damn? Okay. Yep. We are good. All right. Cool. Cool. Yeah, because I was going live, and then this says something weird about encoder, and I'm like, man, what the hell is this program talking about? But yo, check it out. Before we get started, if it's the first time checking out your boy, make sure you guys go ahead, subscribe to the channel, ring that bell, and let you know when I got all types of videos. Gaming streams, unboxings, toy hunts, Lego builds, all that good stuff coming your way. Alright? Speaking of Lego builds, man, I gotta stop slacking, and there's about like 20 builds that I gotta do. And then I gotta post a video. I did a toy hunt yesterday, and then so I picked up 2 more Lego pieces. So be on the lookout for that video when I drop it. Alright? But we're going to go ahead and check out some videos here, guys. We got some Marvel updates when it comes to Black Panther, when it comes to Spider-Man, when it comes to Avengers, Doomsday, all that good stuff. Okay? So, without further ado, let's go ahead, because I was going to check these out, and I'm like, yo, you know what? Let me just go ahead and do a live stream. That way I can go ahead and educate you guys. That way you guys can see the updates and everything else that's happening. You know what I mean? So, all right, so what we'll do is we will start first with the Black Panther news. Okay, you know, we got the Black Panther 3 Shadows of Wakanda. So that one's going to be filming sometime this year. So let's go ahead and start with this one.
With Black Panther. Let's get into the Black Panther stuff.
There we go. All right, let me start that right there. And then we'll go switch over, bam, right here. There we go. All right, guys, so this is going to be the Black Panther 3 update. So we're going to see what's going on. We got John Walker. He's going to be giving us the 411. So let's go ahead and check that out.
With Black Panther. Let's get into the Black Panther stuff here, Winston. Let's talk about it. After many months, this is coming to us from GamesRadar.com. They're written by Megan Garside. Hope I'm saying that right, Megan. No offense there. After many months of radio silence, Black Panther 3 has finally received an update, and it looks like work will be starting on the Marvel Phase 6 movie very soon. According to a new listing on Film and Television Industry Alliance, Black Panther 3 is due to start shooting in London on June 15th of 2026. What's that, like 4 or 5 months from now? The sequel still does not have an official release date, but if cameras are due to start rolling this summer, it will only be a matter of time until we find out when the Marvel project is due to hit screens. The document also states that the third installment will be titled Shadows of Wakanda, and will explore Wakanda's vulnerability after T'Challa's death, with Shuri stepping up as both warrior and leader. This means the star Letitia Wright will return as Shuri. We already had an inkling that T'Challa's sister Shuri would lead the third movie following the passing of her brother and mother. Wakanda Forever saw Shuri shake up the mantle and become the new Black Panther. The new plotline also all but confirms that Shuri will survive the events of Avengers Doomsday, which will premiere this December, and Secret Wars arriving a year later. That is if Black Panther 3 does indeed take place after Avengers 6. The news also comes at the same time as F1 star Damson Idris addressed rumors of him taking over as Black Panther. In an interview with Variety, Idris said, I'm, quote, thankful to the fans. Of course, it's rumors, but I love that movie. I love the world. Although Shuri is leading this one, we could see Idris join the franchise in the future, perhaps as an older version of T'Challa's son, who he met in the Black Panther 2 post-credit scenes. Of course, the only actor confirmed at the moment is Denzel Washington, who would take on a new role written for him by director Ryan Coogler. who won last night at the Golden Globes. We expect to see Denai Guerrero return as Okoye, as well as Michaela Coles Aneka and Florence Kasumba's Ayo. Assuming he makes it out of Doomsday alive, there's a high likelihood that Winston Duke will return as M'Baku. I sure fucking hope so. That's my favorite character. Winston, your thoughts on this as you hear this? Anything new? Anything that strikes you as like fascinating to discuss? What are your thoughts on this?
I don't know how I feel about this not recentering around T'Challa. I don't have a problem with Shuri ruling. There are people that straight out of just misogynoir is just like, I'm not one of those, but I am somebody. The one thing I always said is I was cool with T'Challa not being at the center of that second movie because of the unfortunate passing of Chadwick.
Yeah.
For that second movie. If we really get into this third movie and we have not brought T'Challa in, I am gonna have a really big problem with that. That's not chill at all. Like whether it be the son grown up because of time travel or whatever the hell, or an alternate version or whatever, I'm not okay with that. And so that kind of worries me a little bit to hear that Shuri is once again at the center of it all.
Yeah.
With no rumor of necessarily that, the mantle is being passed or whatever. I don't know. I don't know when and where they want to try and do that. I don't know if like this report is coming out because it's like, oh, well, we meet what T'Challa will be in Doomsday / Secret Wars. So, yes, it's centered around Shuri, and it's like Shuri teaching T'Challa how to become this new T'Challa, how to be king or something. I don't know, but like, if that's truly what we're doing, of just, I'm not liking it. That is not something I'm about, really.
I got a lot of complex feelings on this one because I like Letitia Wright as an actress, but then I've also got to be realistic and say that she wasn't the greatest lead in Wakanda Forever. And I think the film suffers a little bit. I don't go back and watch Wakanda Forever. I think she's not as strong leading that film as you would like to see an act like Zoe Saldana can lead films like Tandy. If you're looking at the actresses that kind of are in the similar range or look as her, and I just don't see necessarily that she's got that kind of energy. Damn good actress. Again, doesn't have the kind of, so the idea of going forward with her, I think, is a bit controversial for people who are maybe not the biggest fan of Wakanda Forever. That being said, though, Ryan Coogler is not someone who listens.
Guys, speaking of which, I was just watching Black Panther Wakanda Forever just last night. Just yesterday, I was watching it again. And I was like, even when I was rewatching the movie, I was like, man, this movie could have been completely different if we would have had, T'Challa back. Yeah, she's a good actress, but man, man. She better pass the mantle in the first 15 to 30 minutes of that movie, of the new one coming out, because we want to see Black Panther, T'Challa. We don't want to see Shuri as Black Panther. Yeah, like I said, I seen it yesterday, and I was like, you know what I mean? But, and I was watching it yesterday only because wifey put it on. I look and I'm like, what the hell? So she wanted to watch Black Panther Part 2. My wife's, one of her favorite movies is the first Black Panther. But we were watching the second one last night, and I was like, even when I was watching it, I was like, nah, son. You know what I mean? So you're not going to make Part 3 and have her lead that movie, and then we're gonna get a little bit of some T'Challa. Nah, son, y'all better start the movie, have her pass the mantle down ASAP, so we can watch Part 3 with a brand new Black Panther. That's just me.
To everybody else, Ryan is gonna do what he's gonna do. He's got a very distinct story he wants to tell. He had to adjust for Chadwick Boseman's passing, and this is where he's going. But I do think she's going to start out this way. But I do think he's going to bring a Black Panther. And like you've said, Winston, the drum beats of people who want to see T'Challa again in the Marvel Universe is very loud. They love Shuri. Certainly, they like Shuri, at least, and they like her as a character. But it's T'Challa who is the Black Panther. And I think to ignore that consistently is going to be a detriment. So what is the path forward? Is it Damson Idris? Is he an alternate T'Challa from another universe who comes in and is stuck here and has to assume the mantle? Or is, as you said, is it the son grown up? Whatever they're going to do here. But something is going to be a part of it. And Winston, we know from the first few trailers, the idea of fathers and sons is coming back to the MCU in a massive way. So the son of T'Challa coming in, being Damson Idris, makes a lot of sense if somehow he is of adult age to be able to take over the mantle. So it's a curious approach, but I don't necessarily think Ryan is just going all in on Shuri. I think this is a setup to set up Black Panther, a new
because where that doesn't make sense is, again, I don't have a problem with Shuri at the as the leader. I don't have a problem with all of that at all. If anything, I was the one that, if you can, I've said it multiple times, my idea for what Wakanda Forever was, you can keep the movie the same how it was, but you have a cold open at the beginning where Black Panther suited up. He's in some sort of fight. He's doing whatever. And Shuri's the woman in the chair, like the support she did when they were in like Korea and all that kind of stuff. Oh, brother, go left, go right, like whatever. Something goes wrong, and she's just like, brother, are you there, brother? And then like cries out. You start to get the Marvel Studios thing, and then you play the movie the rest of the way that the movie played. And then for the post credit, instead of a son, you have Shuri finally accepting that she's queen. She's sitting on the throne. She's tired. She looks up, and you just see an over the shoulder of a pretty torn up habit. Yeah. And you just see her look up and go, brother, and then cut to black. And then you can, in the next movie, I got sucked into a portal. I got whatever it happened where he was gone. So you still respect the legacy of Chadwick that and the people making the movie, because that was family. They literally have said multiple times, that was my brother, that was my nephew, that like it devastated them. So you allow for the legacy of T'Challa to be of Chadwick as T'Challa to have that send off, and you tell that story, and then you come back in the next movie of here's what happened to me. And if that was in Secret Wars, he'd already gotten put in an incursion or something like that, or he got pulled away to help. It doesn't matter. You would have figured it out. And so I have always been a main proponent of this, because while Shuri's stories as the Queen of Wakanda, as the Black Panther, are very good, and I thought that it was very important for little black girls to be able to have that same feeling that little black boys did, to see that. I thought that was paramount. Yeah. I also know that Wakanda lives and breathes through T'Challa. Those stories throughout are because of T'Challa. It doesn't mean that the rest of the world isn't important, but it's kind of the same way of like, I love Miles Morales. You can't just do Miles Morales as Spider-Man. At some point, you needed a Peter. If you eventually move on, sure, but at some point, you would still need to bring him back, because even when Peter died in Miles's universe when he was first introduced, ultimately he got pulled out of the Ultimate Universe and put in the main 616 universe. Right. And Peter and Miles are both there. So you need T'Challa, because of the vast majority of the stories that have been told of this character, of this nation, is T'Challa. So I genuinely would have a problem if they're not going to find a way to bring him back. And I believe they will. But this just report of how they're starting to film, and it's supposed to be centered around Shuri, already makes me uneven and like a little uneasy.
Yeah. And I totally hear that. And I wonder what the logic is here, right? Because if you're starting to shoot in June and Doomsday hasn't even come out, if you think you're going to keep the leaks of what you're doing on that set away from people, that if Damson Idris isn't spotted on that set, or there's, you know what I'm saying? Listen, I am scoop adjacent with Jeff Snyder on the hot mic, so I know that shit leaks all the time. I know that stuff comes out before we can even say it. Sometimes I hear things sometimes months in advance before it's announced or said or whatever. And so there is, a lot of people talk. So the idea that you're going to be able to shoot Black Panther 3 in June and somehow you're not going to be found out and give away that it's going to be Damson Idris coming back as Black Panther, I think is going to be real difficult to do, especially, as I said, Doomsday won't have even come out. So you might already have that storyline laid out before you even go see Doomsday. You may already have that in your mind before you go even say Doomsday. So what I think if he does go this route with Shuri and Black Panther 3, it may be his way of like wrapping everything up from that original trilogy.
Sure.
And then after Secret Wars, he's going to do a new Black Panther, because Secret Wars is where we're going to see Damson Idris as Black Panther, and that will spark a new trilogy.
Right.
Will Ryan stay on to direct them? I don't know, but he will definitely EP them. So the question becomes like, is this just wrapping up stuff from before and also touching on Doomsday, touching on Secret Wars, kind of setting it up so that when this new T'Challa comes in, he will be the T'Challa going forward. And Winston, that gives them more time chronologically in our minds, you know, like it'll be like almost 10 years by the time we see Secret Wars. So we can go in our minds, oh, he has grown up. Maybe he's the son of T'Challa. So yeah. I just think there's things they can play around. So I think that's what might be happening here, is they just wrapping up the storylines and then setting the groundwork for T'Challa to return.
I certainly hope so, because I mean, there's so many things that we haven't gotten a chance to see yet. I mean, the fact that we're finally bringing the X-Men into the fold, like we haven't seen T'Challa and Storm have their opportunity together. We haven't really, like we really didn't get a full Illuminati. Like that whole thing is super interesting. The fact that they're calling it the Shadows of Wakanda, I'm curious if they're going to tap into the fact that T'Challa actually is the King of the Dead and is able to summon all the previous Panthers, like their knowledge and straight, like that's one of the reasons why a lot of times he actually is able to whoop like Cap's butt and other people that are equivalent to him as far as strength and all that, is because he is similar to the Avatar. For those that are Avatar: The Last Airbender fans, he is able to, as we saw T'Challa talking to his dad in the other plane. We saw Shuri talk to her cousin in the other plane, technically a previous Black Panther as well. So he has the ability to not only control the army of the dead at times, he has the ability to tap into their battle prowess and their knowledge and on their skill sets and all that kind of stuff. So there is a lot to really be explored as far as all that stuff goes. And again, I'm not saying that Shuri can't keep suiting up and everything else like that, but there are so many T'Challa stories we haven't done that are just paramount to that world. That is where I just need them to hopefully get there. And if that's what it is, if this is just kind of closing this out and it's a passing the mantle film or something like that, sure. Just what we read is why I'm nervous. That's all.
Yeah, I mean, if you're looking at some of the breakdowns here for Shadows of Wakanda, there's not a storyline that Shadows of Wakanda and Black Panther, but it does, as Winston was referencing here, hint at Wakandan history, mysticism, internal threats like the Shadow King, and the mystical shadow physics from the comics. And when you look at that, shadow physics is an advanced Wakandan science/mysticism that T'Challa pioneered in the comics, allowing multiverse access and connecting to past Black Panthers. Shadow King is a powerful psychic villain from the X-Men comics with possible African Wakandan connections. Could that be Denzel? Ancient Wakandan lore, exploring forgotten histories, war traditions, and potential conflicts with exiled groups like the Akungu. So, yeah, there's a lot of places they can go that'll distract you from the fact that you're not getting a full Black Panther. If you put Denzel as the main villain and he's the Shadow King, that's fucking awesome. And you have M'Baku and Okoye and Shuri and all of them lining up. And is this, if you're dealing with the dead, is this how you bring back T'Chaka or Angela Bassett as Queen Ramunda, or, or even, I guess you can't do AI. You don't want to do that with Chadwick Boseman, but you could have possibly done that with Chadwick.
The fastest way to end up pissing people off is if you try and go Tupac hologram, Michael Jackson hologram, like T'Challa, like Chadwick AI. Good Lord. You would start a shitstorm.
And Luke mentioning in the chat tells us that we actually have seen the Shadow King in the Legion show, which is that show that was on FX, led by Dan Stevens, led there. So, I mean, a lot of people want him to show up in Secret Wars as connecting all the X-Men kind of connections through the whole thing. So we'll see. It could be possible for sure. So, all right. Well, let us know what you think about this. What do you want to see in Black Panther 3? What do you think is going to happen here? Do you like the Shuri approach? Do you buy this possible log line? Do you like the title? Do you like where it might be going, as Winston reference to the Shadow King and the mysticism of the side of Wakanda? And Luke, stop it. And will you Will you be excited to see what's coming next for Black Panther 3 for Ryan Coogler? And do you want to see T'Challa in Black Panther 3, or do you want to see them finish stuff out and then lead to another trilogy after Secret Wars? Let us know down in the comments section.
Factor. How many times?
Oh, that was good. That was good. Yo, all right, my thoughts real quick. Yo, do you know what this reminds me of? It reminds me of when we first got Black Panther in the Captain America Civil War. That's when we saw Black Panther for the first time. And then after that movie, then he got his own movie. You know, that introduction in Captain America, that was an amazing introduction right there. You know what I mean? So this kind of reminds me of the same thing. So he's going to be in Avengers Doomsday. So he's going to be there whooping ass. We're going to be like, that's where we can get used to him. And then after the Doomsday movie, then we're going to, I'm sure we're going to get him also in Secret Wars. But that way, after that, then he gets his own movie, which will be shooting in June. You know what I mean? And yo, like I said, man, I was just watching Black Panther Wakanda Forever last night. And yeah, man, you gotta, like I said, Shuri is cool. I like her as a character, as, you know, like that, you know, that the one of the smartest females there, scientist, you know what I mean? She can be the queen, just like he said. But man, you gotta pass the mantle back. You know, Black Panther, like they said, man, yo, Black Panther has amazing stories that they didn't even touch yet. And then I would love to see that. I would love to see the whole controlling the dead. You know what I mean? That one storyline. That would be dope. That would be dope, man. That would be something different, something new, something a little dark. You know what I'm saying? So yes, I'm really looking forward to this new Black Panther. I really want to see a lot of Black Panther in the new Black Panther movie, not Shuri. You know what I mean? Like Shuri, she could just stay as queen while we have Black Panther doing his thing. You know what I mean? Like, because man, a lot of people didn't like that new Black Panther, that last Black Panther movie. You know what I mean? And if you wind up making that movie and Shuri being the lead through the whole movie again, yeah, people are gonna hate that. Knowing that you have a new Black Panther, knowing that we just seen him in Avengers Doomsday and in Avengers Secret Wars, and then you're gonna give him his movie in Part 3, and then you're gonna like sideline him? Nah, son. So yes, I'm excited for that, and then that'll be dope too. You start a brand new trilogy with this new Black Panther. Like I said, there's a lot of Black Panther stories, yo. So that would be dope, man. That would be real dope. But guys, comment below. Let me know what you guys thought about that one. Let me know what you guys thought about. Let me know what you think about the look, the first Black Panther is still my favorite one out of both of them, obviously. You know what I mean? But yeah, let me know what you guys think about the Wakanda Forever. What you thought about that movie, and you know, when it comes to the first Black Panther, the second Black Panther, which one do you guys prefer? All right. So with that down, let's go ahead and continue on, guys. So check it out. There has been they already dropped all 4 of the trailers when it comes to the Avengers Doomsday. Like the first one was the Captain America, second one was the Thor, third one was the X-Men trailer, and then the fourth one was Wakanda, and then with the Fantastic Four. You know what I'm saying? But you know, the Russo brothers came out and said that there's hints and clues. You know what I mean? That these were not just trailers, that they were stories. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna go ahead and check out now. I want to check out the video by okay. Check out the video here by New Rockstar Voss. Check out what he's talking about. Huge details that we missed in Avengers Doomsday. Okay? Let's see what's going on here.
Welcome back to New Rockstars.
Alright, so let's go ahead and restart this. We're going to hear Eric Voss, his thoughts on what the hell did we miss when it comes to these 4 trailers that dropped. And like the Russos are talking about. They're like, yo, pay close attention, look closely. But like, look at what? You know what I mean? So, but another thing too, some of the things in the trailer, especially like that last trailer they did, looks like it was like digitally removed. You know what I mean? Like, you know, in the trailer of the Hulk, that they added the Hulk, but then he really wasn't in the movie. You know what I mean? So they be taking things out of the movies and shit like that. But, or like in the Thunderbolts, they had Taskmaster right there in the Avengers Tower with them. But then when you see the movie, she's not there because she got her head blown off. Yeah. So, yeah, let's see what he's talking about here. Let's see the clues. Let's see what we missed. So let's go ahead and check it out.
Welcome back to New Rockstars. I'm Eric Voss, and the first 4 teasers for Avengers Doomsday are not teasers, nor are they trailers according to the directors, but are rather stories and clues. So what is the story being told here? I thought we had a good idea of it, but now I'm wondering, was something removed from the 4th teaser that released this week? Why did Dr. Doom drain the oceans of Earth 616? Also, is there an Agatha clue hidden in Death Comes for Us All? And if all of these do represent a story, whose story is it? Is it Doom's story? Or could it be the story of the God of Stories? In this video, I'm going to revisit these trailers yet again to explain what the Russo brothers Instagram post is all about, including a few incredible details that we all missed, and I'm telling you, they were staring us right in the face from this footage. Before we get into it, we have some really fun Doomsday-inspired shirt designs available at our merch store, nerdriot.shop, like this Open Your Eyes shirt, or this Choose Your Fighter Battle World design. Grabbing a gift for yourself or that special nerd in your life is a great way to support us at New Rockstars. Okay, let's first address these additional details from these Doomsday teasers, or rather stories. First off, were some visual elements removed from the 4th Doomsday trailer? Some fans are pointing to this shot of Shuri walking out into the desert, especially when the background dunes go out of focus. The background might just be blurry enough to hide some shift or aircraft or some standing group of characters on the horizon that's actually there in the final version of the shot. Fans are also looking at this shot of Ben Grimm, the Thing, and the way it's framed with this space off to the right could be a clue that there might be someone else there in the final version of that shot. Hey, I get why people are suspicious. The Thunderbolts trailers certainly used VFX to paint Taskmaster into trailer shots where that character was dead at that point in the movie and not in that scene in the final version of the film. We also saw characters scrubbed out of shots in the Spider-Man No Way Home trailer. Also, when this part of the cast shot these scenes in the country of Bahrain, when the crew all had to awkwardly pose at the resort with the country's crown prince, he tagged Vanessa Kirby in that post, even though she was not there in the photo, which is kind of hilarious considering she plays the Invisible Woman. So yeah, maybe Sue Storm is literally standing next to Ben Grimm in that shot. Maybe when Shuri is nodding and saluting someone off screen at the end of the teaser, it's really a respectful nod to the mother who begged Shuri for her help to find her child. And this salute is now a promise from the Black Panther of 616 to do everything in her power to find both Toussaint and Franklin. Now, I don't know if these kids are gonna want to be found. Maybe that's the big twist at the end of Doomsday, that by the time the adults find these kids, they'll be time dilated and grown up in Battleworld. Adult T'Challa Jr. played by Damson Idris, and adult Franklin played by someone like, I don't know, Connor Story. And those guys are gonna be content and settled in the new Battleworld kingdoms of Dr. Doom. Now, this 4th teaser also shows us the pyramids of the underwater kingdom of Tlalocan, with its Mesoamerican pyramid architecture, now in a dusty desert. I don't think the characters are in the void here, so this must mean that Dr. Doom or some incursion event has drained the oceans, or maybe just this part of the ocean, completely screwing over the Talocanil who need the water to breathe. So why would Dr. Doom do this? Well, here's a possibility we have not discussed yet. In the MCU's multiverse saga, technically the first time the MCU visited Earth 10005 was in The Marvels, when Monica Rambeau ended up chatting with Kelsey Grammer's Beast.
Confusion is but the first step on the journey to knowledge.
I'll take it from here.
Charles asked for an update. I'll come by and check on you later.
Yeah, the Charles Beast referenced in that scene was the Charles we now see upstairs in the 3rd Doomsday teaser. And the way Monica got to that universe in that movie was by going through a rift in space-time opened by Dar-Ben, using the quantum bands and the Cosmi Rod that the MCU is trying to rename the Universal Weapon, but screw that, I'm sticking with Cosmi Rod. Dar-Ben was using this process to open rifts in order to steal natural resources from other worlds in order to heal the Kree homeworld of Hala, including the breathable atmosphere from the Skrull world world of Tarnax 4, and the ocean water from that singing planet of Aladna. Darben was going to try to do this with our sun to replace the dying Kree sun of Pama until the Marvels stopped her. So in Doomsday, Marvel characters may start referring to these kind of rifts as incursions, because yeah, they are breaking apart the fabric of reality. They do look rather like the purple rifts that open up to other universes in Spider-Man No Way Home, and I wonder if this rift in space was one of the warning signs the leader clocked in Captain America Brave New World to predict the coming Doomsday that he teased in that movie's post-credit scene. And it also could have been the space crisis that Yelena was complaining that they were looped out of in Thunderbolt's post-credit scene that we know was a Russo brothers shot scene that will be part of Doomsday.
And now there's this huge space crisis and no one's telling us about it.
So maybe Dr. Doom siphoned the water from Earth in order to irrigate Battleworld? But then you should ask, couldn't there have been another ocean world across the multiverse that Dr. Doom could have tapped into? Why the 616 Earth? What is anomalistic about the 616 Earth? Well, what else is sticking out of the ocean on the 616 Earth that Doom might want access to, especially if his new mask, same task mission is a suit of armor around his world? How about this big adamantium fur? Yeah, Tiamat, the half-aborted Celestial from the Eternals film that became something of a joke across phases 4 and 5 of the MCU until he came back in Captain America Brave New World, now established as the birthplace of adamantium in the MCU. Now, Brave New World of course didn't really do anything with the adamantium subplot. It really seemed to be set up for something else. But in interviews after that movie came out, executive producer and Survivor 49 contestant Nate Moore said that Marvel Studios had a very specific reason why they wanted Tiamat to be the origin of adamantium in this universe. And I think that reason is to set up Dr. Doom to extract this vast supply of adamantium from our universe, maybe to build his army of Doombots or just his general infrastructure in Battleworld. Like, imagine the Ultron sentries that we saw in the 838 universe and Multiverse of Madness and the Baxter Foundation, but in this case made by a variant of Tony Stark named Victor Von Doom and made out of adamantium. And so when we're talking a draining ocean, hell, even just removing Tiamat's adamantium corpse from our planet would leave a crater large enough in the Earth's crust, mantle, and core that all the ocean water would just drain into that hole. In this video that we made in 2022, we broke down the math of how big Tiamat would have to be and how many cubic feet his body would take up. And yeah, easily all of Earth's ocean water could flow into the hole he left behind if he were removed suddenly. That could be how Slalocan looks the way it does now. And suddenly any place on Earth with landlocked lakes just became very valuable real estate. But you know, also losing all of Earth's water that quickly would completely screw up oxygen levels, global temperatures, solar radiation, weather, currents, everything. Then again, Tiamat emerging should have also done that, so who knows? You can't think about it that hard. One of the most fun things about getting a gift is opening it up, and Send a Cake makes opening a gift an absolutely unforgettable experience. We recently got a few in office and opened them up truly boxes we got. There was a billionaire box that was the Dubai Cake Explosion. Opened it up, paper so good. Send a Cake ships to all 50 truly delightful to send a cake for yourself. But there's also a Send a Cake for sponsoring today's video. Now, when we're talking about what story connects all of these, clearly there's the theme of parenthood and missing or threatened children. But there's also a pretty grim theme across these 4 teasers about death in the afterlife. You have Thor praying to his dead dad, we think, for strength for one last fight. You have Shuri saying it's the king's job to prepare his people for the afterlife. Steve's teaser doesn't have any dialogue, but when it comes to that baby, my theory in Tuesday's video was that this kid could grow up to be an alternate universe Victor one day, using his alternate displays daddy's quantum tech and an alternate universe 1950s onward. And of course, there was this line from Charles Xavier.
Death comes for us all. That's all I know for sure.
When it comes to this line, a few of you have been reaching out to me with an observation I will admit I did not notice at first. I saw this from the Instagram account ETC Edits 2023. I don't know where it originated, but the words "Death Come For Us All" were also spoken by Lilia Calderou's Sicilian Maestra in Agatha All Along episode 7, one of the best episodes of Marvel anything, an episode titled Death's Hand in Mine. This was the episode that confirmed that Aubrey Plaza's character Rio Vidal was Death, and the episode has a fascinating structure where the witch, Lilia Calderou, kind of has her consciousness and awareness unstuck in time as she's bouncing back and forth through different points in her time in the moment of her death. And in this moment, she flashes back to her old mentor back in Renaissance Italy.
But it didn't change anything.
That comes for us all.
You say it like it's a comfort.
It is what we all have in common.
So there's that detail, and this music cue that we hear in the middle of Charles Xavier's line. Those same two notes, produced by the same instrument, in the same key, can be heard in the Agatha All Along score track called Lucid Spellbound Divination, composed by Christoph Beck and Michael Paraskevas. Take a listen. Now compare that again to the Doomsday teaser. Now, it could be a coincidence, or this could be the MCU's musical leitmotif for the character of Death. Could Aubrey Plaza reprise the character of Death in Avengers Doomsday? I mean, in Thor Love and Thunder, in the chamber that led to Thor finding that daughter figure that he's now praying to return to, there was a statue that represented Death, the same entity that Aubrey Plaza represents. So when you put all of these pieces together to try to answer the Russos' question, what is this story? Whose story is it? While I do not think the flashing alphanumeric configuration in the final release date to the countdown clock number is like specific code, it's really just the parts of the word December left behind and the number of days left in the month from the day each teaser was published to YouTube. I will admit my theory drives overheated when people began to theorize that there could
What up, Strong Bear?
been a connection between one of those and the exact time code and the Avengers Endgame runtime when Loki gets arrested, because arguably that moment is what led to Loki breaking free and then getting arrested by the TVA, which led to the full events of the Loki series and kicking off the multiverse saga. And clearly the Russos needed Tom Hiddleston to come back and play Loki in whatever plot they now have in store for Doomsday. So now when the Russos are posting the word stories, plural, I think it has to be a reference to the MCU's God of Stories, Loki. All 4 of these moments are vignettes of stories that the God of Stories is seeing across the multiverse from his point of view, looking into the threads of existence in the trunk of the sacred timeline, Yggdrasil Worlds Tree. While I think Thor is praying to the All-Father Odin, I think this prayer and all of these prayers from all these characters are being heard by the God of Stories. The countdown clock that we're seeing on the green stained glass window could be part of the citadel that Loki inherited from He Who Remains, and it could be Loki's countdown clock until all of time and existence runs out. Time runs out. And I think Loki in this movie is going to make a big sacrifice to give the Marvel heroes a fighting chance against Doctor Doom in Secret Wars that will make good on Loki's promise to Thor in Avengers Infinity War.
I assure you, brother, the sun will shine on us again.
And a move that will answer Deadpool and Wolverine's question of why Thor was crying. So now in the third teaser, when we hear Magneto say this,
The question isn't, are you prepared to die? The question is, who will you be when you close your eyes?
that whole idea of closing and opening one's eyes, not just a setup for Cyclops to open his eyes, but I think a reference to the final shot of God of Stories Loki sitting on that throne doing the same kind of thing with his eyes, and the transformation that character went on when he thought he was dying. So Saturday's episode of The Road to Doomsday revisits the first 3 X-Men movies and includes one huge newly discovered Easter egg from that trilogy that Avengers Doomsday could totally pick back up with. Check out that episode in our first episode about the Blade trilogy, and if we're right about this Agatha music connection, we're all going to be joining hands and singing down, down, down the road, down the Doomsday Road. A special thanks to one of our In Our Underground subscribers, Sin City Monster, for supporting us at the executive producer level. Get all of our exclusive bonus content by clicking on the link in the description below or going to nrunderground.supercast.com. Big thanks to Studio Tech Brian Kim, New Rockstars editors Joshua Stephen Hurd and Abby Friel, and supporting editors Kelly Jewell and Song Kipiria for their work on this video. Follow me at EA Voss and subscribe to all the channels in the New Rockstars network for breakdowns and news coverage of everything you love. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.
All right, that was a good one. That was a good one. I'm telling you, man, this movie is going to be crazy. But I do believe that they did cut some things out in the trailers. You know what I mean? They're not showing us everything. You know what I mean? And then the official Avengers Doomsday trailer is coming out on Super Bowl. So when Super Bowl happens, I believe it's next month on the 18th. Or on the 8th. I know it's next month. Then, yeah, that's when we're going to finally see the Avengers Doomsday trailer. That's going to be dope. Really happy about that one. Excited. Cannot wait. But, yeah, man, I do believe that they did cut some things out of here when it comes to this trailer. But, yo, check it out. with that down, let's go ahead and continue. I wanted to check out the another update when it comes to Avengers Doomsday, when it comes to Doctor Doom. Okay, this is gonna be like, we have some Doctor Doom updates. We're about to go ahead and check out the video to one of the nerdiest guys on YouTube.
Okay.
So we have here Josh over at the Den of Nerds. So yeah, he has some rumors and theories as well when it comes to Doctor Doom. So let's go ahead. Let's not waste no time and jump right into this video. But yeah, comment below though. Let me know what you guys thought about the last video. All right, let's do this.
Okay, so we got an interesting update to an ongoing story. This is a rumor that we've heard a lot about. When this rumor was first reported, it was reported by Daniel Pooper Scooper RPK, and he was talking about female variants of Doctor Doom. Okay, now look, man, as soon as he put this shit out there, a lot of other people kind of came out and gave backlash. Gary from Nerd Erotic said this is not true at all. I had some people tell me it wasn't true. I had some people tell me it was true, but then, kind of reading between the lines, what I kind of thought was going on was that Daniel was once again taking something he heard and delivering it in the most, in a way that would cause a kerfuffle online. He was stirring the pot. Hey,
Mama Bear, how's it going, guys?
Frankly, he's in the business of getting clicks, but also, Daniel is one of these people that wants all the custodians to be female. And so he wants to make people like me mad. He wants to make the dude bros, the chud people mad. And the idea of a female Doctor Doom, it fucking gets me mad, brother. It really does. So when we first heard about these reports, I was like, I don't know about this shit, okay? And there were other people that told me behind the scenes that there would be some henchmen of Doom. There would be 3 of them that were female. One would be in a green cloak, one would be in a purple cloak, and then one would be in a golden cloak. They would all have Doctor Doom masks, but there were also 2 other variants mentioned within this group. One was a variant that had a mask where the mouthpiece was cut off, seemingly so this version of Doom would be able to speak, maybe the court gesture, or maybe just a person that's there to translate. And then there was another variant of Doom that had horns, also in a mask, but had horns. Okay. And I was like, wow, this is kind of interesting. Daniel's saying this thing. Gary's saying it's not females. I'm hearing that there's truth to the story. Then after that, Roka confirmed 2 of them. I think he confirmed the purple and the green ones. He never confirmed the one in the gold. But anyway, what I'm saying is, this is an ongoing theme. People have talked about this. Alex had sort of hinted that Doom would have other people that were wearing the masks. And so over the weekend, Daniel said on his Patreon, Doctor Doom reportedly has multiple masked sidekicks, men and women, in Avengers Doomsday, but it's unclear if they're a cult of followers or variants of Doctor Doom. Man, is Daniel learning? Or are we just keeping the pressure on this motherfucker so he can't just get away with his same old tricks? I don't know, but I appreciate this. I wish this was the way it had first been reported. Imagine if instead of saying there's going to be female variants of Doctor Doom in Doomsday, if Daniel had said Doctor Doom reportedly has multiple masked sidekicks, men and women, and it's unclear if they're a cult of followers or variants of Doctor Doom. If he had reported it that way originally, I would not have given him any shit. Okay, so now he's reporting this. And so now we're like, okay, well, what's the deal with this? Well, we sort of talked about this before, but this piece of concept art here came out in a sea of other leaks where the person was drawing the images of the thing that they saw from behind the scenes. I don't know if you remember that. This was a thing. These images here do appear to be what was described to me. At least the one wearing purple, and maybe that's the one that's wearing gold. But as I pointed out before, the one that's wearing gold there, that kind of looks like red to me.
I'll let her know she's
and if it is red, then that kind of changes the calculus here of who might be behind that mask. Okay? So let's consider the possibilities. Do we think these are Doom variants? It's possible some of them are. Okay, it is legitimately possible that there are some Doom variants. In fact, like I have this like kind of like gut instinct feeling going on that maybe the one with the mouth removed is RDJ as well. Remember when RDJ shared that birthday invitation and there was that really weird variant of Doom that had the weird curly hair? And then at his actual birthday party, RDJ looked like that version of Doom with the curly hair. Well, that version of Doom also had a golden mask. And that comic that RDJ had shared did have a bunch of Victor Von Doom variants there. So, partially because of RDJ sharing that stuff, partially because it could be the case that there are Doom variants in this film, and we've technically seen other Doom variants, right, through the Fantastic Four movies. I'm kind of thinking there could be some variants, but also these are probably like a cult of Doom, or just Dr. Doom followers and henchmen that he has working for him. There were also some rumors and theories, and this is where we got to get careful because some of this stuff came from Majestic and James Mack. And again, it's just, I don't know, guys. I just don't know. I don't think they're reliable. They could have some stuff right. But if they do have stuff right, it's probably just stuff they got from other people. I don't think they have sources. But one of the things he said was that Clea was going to turn on Doom. Sylvie was going to turn on Doom. I think the Sylvie thing's probably true because that predates Majestic and some of them talking about it. So maybe we're looking at Clea and she's behind that mask. Maybe there's a variant of Loki that has horns and he's behind that mask. Maybe there's a Doctor Strange that's behind that mask. I could see a scenario in which Doom has all of these followers and we kind of see them throughout the film, right? And then at some point in the movie, they reveal who they are and it's shocking. Like maybe one of them is Scarlet or the Scarlet Witch. And we're like, yo, that's wild. Maybe one is Sylvie and we're like, yo, that's wild. Maybe one is Clea and we're like, that's wild. Maybe it's even crazier than that. Right? Like maybe it's literally Femke and she is Phoenix, but she's Dark Phoenix. Maybe she's dead in that X-Men universe, but she's there from a different universe working with Doctor Doom. Like that would be crazy, and that would kind of tie into the multiversal Masters of Evil, which on that point, and a lot of you already know where I'm going with this, but we have some indicators that elements from Avengers Forever with Avengers Prime Loki and the Doom Above All Dooms and the multiversal Masters of Evil, there are elements of that are being adapted for Avengers Doomsday. I think the multiversal Avengers at the end of time fighting against Doom's team, I think that's real. That predates Majestic and James Mack and all those people. That's like Alex Perez stuff. That's stuff that he talked about for a long time. I think it's real. What I can't quite place here, what I don't fully understand, is like, we just got the images from the Fantastic Four trailer, and I don't know if you all saw this, but there's like parts of the trailer that seem like there was stuff taken out digitally, and it actually seems like they did kind of a shitty job at it because you could see some like artificing in the horizon and stuff like that. Did you all see that? So some people are saying, oh, well, they removed Doctor Doom and his ship, the Fantastic Four rocket, Excelsior 1 or whatever they're calling it, from that shot where Ben Grimm, remember? It seems like Ben Grimm's on like the one side of the screen. It's like really seems like a lot of weird empty space on the right side of the frame when Ben Grimm is introducing himself to M'Baku. There's even some people like Alex hinting that maybe Doom is in that shot. I think Manabite has hinted, Jeremy Conrad, that Doom is in that shot. So
that's what I was saying before in the previous video. Like, it does look like these trailers have a bunch of shit that was taken out. You know what I mean? But Marvel is already known to do a bunch of things like that. But yeah, when you watch it, like when Shuri is walking in the desert, it shows like she's walking into just a desert and nothing's in front of her. But I bet when we watch the movie, we're gonna see like the Fantastic Four ship right there, or they're gonna be out of the ship and just standing there. You know what I mean? But yeah, I'm telling you.
What I can't understand, what I'm kind of trying to figure out is like, okay, so let's just assume whether they're variants or whether they're secret, you know, allies of the Avengers or whatever, there's a bunch of people that are working for Doctor Doom that have the mask, that are wearing cloaks similar to this. And that's probably connected to what Daniel said about Doom having these other Dooms, whether they're variants or cult followers, okay? Well, are they with Doom the whole time? Are they with Doom the whole time? Are they also in the shot with the Fantastic Four and Victor as he's introducing himself to them? I mean, I kind of don't think so. Like, what do you guys think? I kind of don't think so. Okay? I think this is likely connected to something I still believe to be true, despite all the rumors and the fake scoopers and everything that threw us off. I still believe that Victor has like a secret plan, that there's stuff he's keeping from other folks, right? So that kind of implies that what's going on with these masked characters is going to be something that's like later revealed later on in the film, seemingly after the real plan comes out, because like it kind of seems like Doom goes into the Fantastic Four universe, right? And he's like, I'm the last survivor of this universe. The incursions are happening and we're totally screwed. So I need your help, Fantastic Four. I need your help, Reed Richards, to help fix the incursions. And guess what? We need to go to 616 because we need their help too, because it's this X-Men universe that's destroying all the universes. Right? And if that's what it is, like, does Doom show up in the Fantastic Four universe with all his posse as well? I don't know. Like, you see why it's a little confusing? I am really not sure. I'm really not sure how it's all going to go down. But I will tell you that a lot of people have teased that this is real and that this will end up being a reveal. So one way that this could go, and that would be really, really cool, is like if these characters were all there, okay, and this masked one and the purple's there and the masked one and the red is there and they're all there for the whole movie, but they're just kind of in the background, or they're just helping Doom, or they're supporting Doom. And then we get to like the end of the film and they all take off their masks and it's like, oh my God, it's the Scarlet Witch. Oh my God, it's Clea. And that one was Doctor Strange the whole time. And they're all just working for Victor Von Doom. That would be pretty badass. That would be a pretty cool twist. That would be pretty wild. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. Yeah, I don't really know. I think it probably makes more sense if, at least for the first act and maybe part of the second act, Victor is seemingly on his own. Aren't you more apt to help a guy that's on his own? What do you guys think? Like what? Yeah, like the Death Eaters. Like, what do you guys think of this? This is a fascinating part of the movie. And again, I think this is real. This is coming from Daniel. They have masked sidekicks, men and women. Does he have it for the duration of the movie? Is it part of the reveal that's going to happen later on in the movie? I don't know. I don't know. But either way, I'm excited. I think this is cool. I mean, so the way I think of it is, I think it's going to be in the back half. I don't think it's going to initially be there, but maybe it will be something that happens as Doom reveals more and more of his plan. And then I love the idea of them taking the masks off, and then it's revealed that there are characters we know. That could be really interesting. Like, look, I'll tell you one rumor that's out there that's kind of wild, and we have not talked a lot about this, but it's starting to be suggested by some of these rumors that Peggy Carter might be one of these. And if that's the case, I mean, bro, did Victor go get a variant of Peggy to fight against Steve because he knew Steve wouldn't be able to kill Peggy? Bro, if that's what it is, then is he doing the same thing with the Scarlet Witch, where he's going to fight against Magneto, but then ultimately he's going to use the Scarlet Witch to fight against Magneto? That's pretty wild. That's pretty interesting. I wonder if there are any other characters that have a male or female character that would get them to let their guard down.
I would say Jean Grey. Like, let's say he has evil Dark Phoenix, and then they go to the X-Men universe, and then to fight Cyclops, and then Cyclops is gonna see her. He's not gonna want to fight her because it's Jean Grey. That'd be crazy too. Like, you pair up Jean Grey with Cyclops. You know what I mean? The Phoenix. That'll be crazy.
And then there's questions about the evil Avengers, right? A Hydra version of Captain America, maybe like an evil version of Hawkeye, an evil version of Black Widow. Jane Foster. That's an interesting one. Yeah, I wonder how Thor would deal with Jane Foster, masked Doctor Doom person. Yeah. Pepper Potts. Pepper Potts. Wouldn't that be interesting? Yeah, I don't know, man. There's some juice here. For shout. Faux show. Really quite interesting. So I guess we'll just wait and see as we get more info. It's Heather. Oh, my God. Vision? No. I'm sticking with Doom bots. Doom's ego is too bloated to let anyone else take the credit for being behind the mask. Yeah, there's something to that. So in the Avengers Forever run, in the Doom Above All Dooms, there's this moment where the Doom that gets captured, who's a Man-Thing Doom, goes to kill some of the Doom bots in the room, and then realizes they're not Doom bots. And then what you realize is that the Doom Above All Doom is going around the multiverse collecting up variants of himself, only to then have them lose their minds, become subservient to him, cut out their own tongues, and basically act as though they are Doom bots. Right? So maybe it's a mixture, you know? But I thought, as we were, because we talked about this rumor a lot, I thought it would be so cool if at the end of the movie, one of the multiversal Avengers characters kills, oh man, this just popped into my head and it's kind of crazy. Okay, so we're talking about Femke Jean Grey, right? So what if the multiversal Avengers at the end in a third act, what if Logan, the one from Deadpool and Wolverine, is one of them? And what if he has to fight against a Jean Grey and he can't actually do it or whatever, right? Oh, that would be really, really cool. So maybe it's a combination. Maybe it's Doom grabbing up these variants for the purpose of throwing off or shocking or ruining the heroes. But maybe it's also variants of Doom, like it was in the other book. And maybe there'll be this moment where one of them goes to kill one of the Doom bots, and then we realize that they're not Doom bots, that they're actual people. That would be pretty wild. That would be pretty wild. Ryan Hurst will play Kratos. That is cool. Who's Ryan Hurst, though? Should I know him?
All right, guys. So that was Josh over at the Den of Nerds. Yeah, that was a good update right there, man. That'll be crazy. You have a bunch of the heroes masked up, pretending to be Doom bots. You know what I mean? Servants of Dr. Doom. That'll be crazy. That will be crazy, though. That would be dope. Yeah, guys. Comment below. Let me know what you guys thought about that rumor, that theory. But yeah, I did hear about this some while back, that it was going to be 3 of them, with the one that he just showed right there. One in yellow, one in red, and then one in green. You know what I mean? Dressed up. But, yo, that is going to be crazy, yo. And, yo, also, I don't believe it, but supposedly the rumor is that this movie is going to be about 3 hours. and 45 minutes long. I doubt that. I strongly doubt that. This is not gonna be no damn 3. And I mean, shit, I'll be surprised if it's 3.5 hours. You know what I mean? We need a build up for Doctor Doom, a huge build up. You know what I mean? So I'll be cool with a 3.5 hour movie. Shit, Avatar was like 3.5 hours. You know what I mean? So I am cool with that. The last Avengers movie, Avengers Endgame, that was a 3-hour movie. You know? So I'm cool. But I doubt it's going to be 3 hours and 45 minutes. I doubt that. So, alright guys, comment below. Let me know what you guys thought about those rumors when it comes to Doctor Doom. And if you guys are excited about the Avengers Doomsday. Alright, so that down. Let's go ahead now, switch it over. We are going to check out one more video when it comes to the Spider-Man Brand New Day. Okay, so now we got some Spider-Man rumors, news, all that good stuff. And then once we're done with that Spider-Man video, then we're going to go ahead and do this unboxing and open up here. Once again, this is the Marvel figure. So this Spider-Man video is going to be a perfect segue to open this this box up right here. All right. So that being said, let's go ahead and check out the last and final video. Now this video here, go ahead and get it ready.
What is going on, Cos?
Okay, this video here is Spider-Man Brand New Day full 9-part plot leaks. Okay, supposed. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and check that out as well. And then when we're done with that, I want to read a small article here when it comes to it's part of the Spider-Man movie. It's when it comes to the Scorpion, which is going to be also in the new Spider-Man movie. So first, let's go ahead and hear out Warren over at the Cosmic Wonder, see what he has to say about these plot leaks, and then I'll go ahead and read a quick article when it comes to the Scorpion. Okay, so that being said, let's go ahead and check this out. All right.
Cosmic Crew, thanks for stopping by the channel. Today we have an alleged Spider-Man Brand New Day full plot leak from the beginning to the end. This is broken off into 9 different parts, and I will say most of everything that is on here we have heard from an insider report, or we've actually confirmed because we've seen the leaked trailer for Spider-Man Brand New Day that leaked not too long ago. Now, when it comes to the official trailer, I will say Alex Perez from the Cosmic Circus just reported this yesterday. There's been some movement from Sony, hearing a trailer release may be imminent. No date yet, as far as I know, but the recent movements make me think it could be within a matter of days. Time will tell. So we've been talking a lot about the Super Bowl. Yeah, they're probably going to put at least a spot for Spider-Man at the Super Bowl, or maybe they're just going to save it for Avengers Doomsday. But we have been hearing for a while that the full trailer should be actually coming before the Super Bowl. We've also heard they've been redoing it because it leaked before, so they're kind of making a different version. We'll have to wait and see, but keep an eye out, and if we hear anything else, we'll be sure to update you. So be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. Now let's go into this leak. I gotta say, if this is how Spider-Man Brand New Day is gonna play out, I'm personally here for it. I really like this, but you'll have to let me know what you think after we go over it. So part 1. Peter is a ghost after No Way Home. He saves the city and no one knows his identity, which makes sense because after the events of Spider-Man No Way Home, yeah, no one knows who Peter Parker is. Several Spider-Man battles will be shown. Remember, this is part 1 in the beginning. Boomerang, Rhino, Chameleon, Tarantula, Ramrod. I think we've heard about all of these appearing from insider reports in the beginning sort of montage for Spider-Man Brand New Day. We're going to see what Spider-Man has been up to, and to do that, they're going to show us Spider-Man fighting a lot of different villains. So this lines up. Then it says, these are brief scenes explaining what he did. Peter focuses on being Spider-Man. He neglects his personal life, and we've heard this before as well. He believes that MJ is better off without him, and he believes that Ned doesn't actually need him. So throughout all of this, dealing with a lot of different emotions, Peter starts to struggle with his powers. This is something we've heard a lot of recently, and it's also something that we have seen with Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. So they're going to kind of be doing the same thing, except they're taking it up a lot of different notches, as you'll see. So his emotional instability affects his powers. His webbing begins to become organic, which is very interesting. And it lines up with what we heard before with Spider-Man No Way Home, because he found out that Tobey's webbing was organic and it just comes out of him, right? We had that whole scene about it. But now, apparently his body is beginning to change and his webbing becomes organic, and factors in his body begin to change. So part 2, the organization Damage Control appears. And we just recently have seen some Wonder Man trailers where Damage Control is there. They are after superpowered individuals. They made that very clear with the Wonder Man trailer. They're going to make it very clear here as well. They are after people with superpowers, and that comes in more in just a bit. So Damage Control appears, and the government wants to control mutants. We're about to go into the mutant saga. We're really only 3 movies away. Spider-Man Brand New Day, Avengers Doomsday, Avengers Secret Wars, in which Doomsday we get obviously the mutants, the old ones, Fox ones coming back. But in the new mutant saga, after Secret Wars, we're going to begin with this, and it seems like Marvel's setting up a lot here with Wonder Man and Spider-Man. They believe Spider-Man should be controlled. Department of Damage Control believes Spider-Man should be controlled, which makes sense. Sadie Sink plays Jean Grey. Now, this is something we've been hearing a lot of lately. Hasn't been confirmed, but it does seem very likely at this point in time, based on what a lot of the insiders have said. Jean is pursued by Damage Control, and Damage Control discovers that she is a mutant, so they want her. And Jean believes that Spider-Man is reckless. So when Spider-Man appears, everything gets worse for her, basically. And which is why in the leaked trailer that we got, we hear her tell Spider-Man to stay out of her way. And then she says, or it won't just be your friends who forget Peter Parker. So she clearly knows what's up. And that line makes me believe that she has some type of psychic abilities to make other people forget, pointing to her being Jean Grey. Just saying. So Spider-Man appears and everything gets worse for Jean, but Jean knows that Damage Control is after Spider-Man, so she wants Spider-Man to stay away from her because she doesn't want Damage Control to find her. Makes total sense. The Punisher and Jean work together, and I love this, and we've heard a lot about this at this point in time. It's basically confirmed to be true. It says they both want to expose Damage Control, and from what we've heard about Damage Control, they are basically torturing people. The government is kind of given them the ability to do what they want because the government is afraid of superpowered individuals. So they capture them and they experiment on them and they torture them. So the Punisher exposing them makes a lot of sense. Him wanting to expose them, and same with Jean. If she's a mutant, it makes sense, right? And the Punisher protects Jean. That's what it says for the end of part 2. So part 3, Tombstone is the true villain. He wants to destabilize the city. Tombstone finances the group The Hand, that's basically confirmed to be in the movie. And it continues and it says the Hand is made up of ninjas wearing red suits. We have seen that in the leaked teaser trailer for Spider-Man Brand New Day. This part is confirmed. It wasn't confirmed that Tombstone is going to be the true villain, but we have heard insiders reports stating that. So I do believe that is probably going to be the case. That's the quick part of part 3. Going into part 4. Damage Control is transporting Scorpion. The Hand attacks Damage Control. The objective is to free Scorpion, but Spider-Man tries to stop them. Here, Punisher helps Spider-Man. The convoy arrives at the prison. Right at the entrance, the convoy crashes. After the crash, the prisoner escapes. The Hand attacks the entire prison because the Hand wants to free more prisoners. Spider-Man fights many ninjas, and Spider-Man starts to have problems with his powers. The Punisher saves him from the ninjas, and they both manage to escape alive. We have seen this online already. Just going to point that out. We've seen the convoy crash. We've seen Scorpion escaping from prison. It makes sense that Tombstone would want to break him out. This all seems to line up so far. We've also seen the Tank and Punisher, everything like that on scene. This all works out. This all lines up. Part 5. Peter's powers continue to worsen. That's pretty much going to be like the main thing of this movie, it sounds like. That Peter's really struggling. He's struggling kind of with everything, his emotions and everything, being alone now, no more Aunt May, no more Tony Stark, Ned, everybody happy's gone, MJ's gone. So he's struggling, and that makes his powers worse. His powers become increasingly unstable, and Peter's body undergoes a metamorphosis, and Peter ends up inside a cocoon. We've heard a lot of insiders talk about this, and it did seem like we saw something like this happen inside or in the Spider-Man Brand New Day leaked trailer. He does kind of go almost to like a coma-like state, and that's probably the metamorphosis, the cocoon that people have been talking about. And it says it's a web-like cocoon like the comics. It's all generated by Peter's emotions. And the film touches on themes such as loneliness, stress, and anxiety. This affects Peter Parker. And Peter seeks help from an Avenger, Professor Bruce Banner. And Bruce Banner tells him that he will create a serum. Now, keep in mind, Peter knows who Bruce Banner is, obviously, and that he's the Hulk. Everybody should know that. And him being a professor makes a ton of sense. Banner doesn't know who Peter Parker is, but he does know who Spider-Man is. Keep that in mind, right? No one forgot who Spider-Man was. And we even learned that at the end of No Way Home as J. Jonah Jameson, was talking about Spider-Man and saying that, they don't know his identity. He should reveal himself. So everyone still knows who Spider-Man is. So Bruce should know Spider-Man's a good guy. He fought with the Avengers in Infinity War and Endgame, right? And he was a buddy of Tony's, Iron Man's. So it makes sense that Bruce would want to help him, and that Peter would tell him kind of everything that happened, I think. Probably like, hey, I worked with Doctor Strange, blah, blah, blah. All this stuff happened. He had to do a spell, but I am Spider-Man. Bruce would totally go for that, it seems like. So Banner tells him that he's going to create a serum for him. That's what Banner does. Creates those serums, but he needs time. And that brings us to part 6. Tombstone wants to eliminate Spider-Man. Spider-Man interferes with his plans. Surprise, surprise. But Tombstone ends up enhancing Scorpion's powers and tries to eliminate Spider-Man. This is what villains in movies are for, to try to get the hero. And according to this description, there are some very impressive fight scenes. And it is reportedly, according to this leak, Spider-Man's best battle. So the best battle that we've actually ever seen from Spider-Man. I'm assuming they are just talking about Tom Holland's Spider-Man. So out of all the movies we've had so far, this is reportedly going to be his best battle. We'll have to wait and see about that. In the end, Spider-Man defeats Scorpion, but Peter's power becomes even more unstable, which allows Scorpion to escape. So going into part 7, it says Bruce Banner is very stressed. Peter puts pressure on him with the serum, and Damage Control is also searching for the Hulk. This is very interesting. When they say searching for the Hulk, I think they probably mean something along the lines of, because they know it's Bruce Banner, right? So it's like how, if he's a professor, you just go to where he teaches. But I think it's more along the lines of they are waiting for the Hulk to come out so that they can then jump on him and say, Bruce Banner's dangerous, the Hulk's dangerous. Like, we have to grab him, take him under our custody and make sure he doesn't do anything. From there, they can experiment and try to probably take his blood and, do more serum and stuff like that. That's what I assume that they would want to do. Or maybe they're portraying the Hulk and Bruce Banner as two different people. Maybe Bruce says, hey, I got rid of the Hulk. I'm human form now, who knows? We'll have to wait and see on that. But it says that due to the stress of the Damage Control looking for him, Spider-Man pressuring him for the serum, the Gray Hulk emerges. And this is something that Daniel RPK recently reported, that the version of the Hulk that we're going to get in this movie is the Gray Hulk. So Gray Hulk emerges and Banner loses control. Gray Hulk begins destroying everything. Damage Control tries to capture him, but the Punisher helps him. So does Spider-Man. And this is probably that scene that we've heard about for a while, the scene with the Punisher, Hulk, and Spider-Man. And we've even seen some leaked photos and videos from the set that shows Banner in a stretcher. So that's probably after the battle. And I hope it's not the DODC who takes him. And it says Jean appears and calms Banner with her power. Banner regains control over the Hulk, and just then, Peter loses control, and in front of everybody, he transforms into a spider. This is interesting. We've heard a lot about this. We've heard some conflicting reports, like Alex Perez of the Cosmic Circus says Man Spider is not going to be a thing. Perhaps they don't go full Man Spider, but they do some type of metamorphosis here. Maybe he just loses control, but this says he grows additional arms. 2 eyes grow, which is going to be crazy. Basically, he mutates into a spider like in the 90s series. That would be certainly something to see on the screen. We'll have to wait and see. It says Jean enters Peter's mind. And this part we have actually heard about as well. Jean enters Peter's mind. Jean explains that he can't just be Spider-Man. It's important to also be Peter Parker. After this internal struggle, Peter calms down. The mutation begins to fade. Bruce Banner manages to finish the serum. They manage to stabilize Peter's mutation. Jean continues her journey separately. Jean thanks them for trusting her. Okay. I like this. We're not at the end yet, just about at the end. The next 2 parts are short, but I do like this because it doesn't make Jean the main character, but it makes her a very important part. And I never wanted Sadie Sink to be the villain. I always wanted her to be a hero. This is kind of makes her an antagonist, kind of. And Punisher as well, right? Some people could say, you know, depending on your views. But I like this because it's a side story for the Punisher and Jean that I really like, and it's setting up something really big for the future of the MCU. The DODC is going to be a big part of the mutant saga, and that makes sense. They're going to be the ones hunting mutants. So I like this. It sets up the future. But continuing, part 8, Peter decides to look for MJ, but MJ has a new boyfriend, Harry Osborn. Of course, this isn't confirmed to be true, but we have heard this before. We've heard reports about this. And again, as far as setting up the future goes with Spider-Man, I think this is a great way to go. We need that. We need the Osborns in the MCU. So the next 2 Spider-Man films to focus on that, I think would be really cool. Peter tells MJ what happened at No Way Home. Peter understands that he can be more than just Spider-Man. And then he also looks for his friend, Ned. We'll see what happens there. Ultimately, eventually, somewhere down the line, Peter and MJ get back together, right? They end up together because it's either going to end with a happy ending for them and maybe Miles Morales and Spider-Gwen come, or he might die. I think those are the 2 options for Tom Holland ending his Spider-Man run.
Yo, I wonder if Ned is ever going to turn into the Hobgoblin. Are they ever going to make that happen? You know what I mean? Let's say part 2 you have Venom, and then in part 3 you have Hobgoblin, because Ned turns into Hobgoblin. I wonder if they're ever gonna have that character. We're gonna see Ned do that, but
we'll have to wait and see. But the final scene, part 9, is said to be Tombstone meeting with a buyer. They're in a very dark place. Tombstone is guarded by Scorpion, and the buyer slides a sealed vial to Tombstone, and inside the vial is the symbiote. We've heard that the symbiote is going to play an important role in the future Spider-Man films, not this one particularly. That's coming from Daniel RPK. So them setting it up in this film makes a lot of sense. This doesn't say Peter Parker dies, anything like that, because there's the theory out there that he might die and the symbiote might bring him back. I still think a symbiote is going to attach to Peter Parker in Secret Wars, because that's what happens in the comics, but we'll have to wait and see on that. But overall, I really like this. I think it's really cool. It's supposed to give us some really great action with Spider-Man, the best we've ever seen. It brings, hopefully, if this is real, if this is accurate, it brings Jean Grey into the MCU, which I think is great. The Punisher gets to do his thing, and recently John Bernthal did say he's just as violent as he would be anywhere else in Spider-Man Brand New Day. They did not tone him down, so I love that. And we get an emotional movie with Spider-Man, which I think is good for him growing, especially after all the stuff he's been through. I feel like this is a good direction. And there's a lot of villains in this, but you get classic Spider-Man villains like Tombstone and Scorpion. So I like this. And I would say there's a really good chance of this all being true. I would really say that. We'll have to wait and see. It's not confirmed, of course. Take it with a grain of salt. It's fun to talk about this, of course. But I'd say at least probably 85% of this is accurate. But let me know your thoughts. Would you like this? Would this be a good Spider-Man movie for you? Let me know in the comments down below. Please don't forget to like this video and subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the latest Spider-Man, Avengers Doomsday, or just Marvel news in general. And you can also find us on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat. And as always, thank you all so much for watching. Woof woof.
all right. So look, check this out. Right here. Where it says Tombstone looks at Scorpion. So, oh, you can't see it right here. Let me go ahead now and mute this right here. Okay. So you see? So he gets the symbiote. Oh, let me move it out of the way. It says once he gets the Tombstone gets the vial. Oh Lord. It said once Tombstone gets the vial with the symbiote inside, Tombstone looks at Scorpion. So now he has the Venom symbiote in the vial, and then he's basically looking over at Scorpion, right? The reason I say that is because a while back, I'm gonna show you guys this right here. A while back, Michael Mandos, which is the actor that's playing Mac Gargan, which is the Scorpion, on his Instagram, he had posted some pictures, and then he also posted a picture of a specific comic book. Okay, now check this out. I'm gonna go ahead and read this small article right here. Check this out. Let's go to it. Check this. So, Michael Mando has already confirmed that he'll be suiting up as Scorpion in the new movie. Previously taken to Instagram to post a selfie of Gargan's Scorpion neck tattoo. Now, the Better Call Saul has shared a sneak peek of himself in the makeup chair as Gargan's mangled look, like when his face got messed up. The result of his run-in with the Staten Island Ferry is created through prosthetics and makeups. So this is the Scorpion. If you guys recognize him from the first Spider-Man movie, and then he was also at the end credit scene. Right? Now check this out. He posted two pictures. He posted this, and then he posted a comic book. Check this out. Mando also offered this stinger of a teaser as Kevin Maguire's variant cover of 2008, The Amazing Spider-Man number 573, below, which shows Matt Gargan's Scorpion being overtaken by the Venom symbiote. Check this out. Check that out. So, that means that Tombstone is going to give that Venom symbiote to Scorpion, and it's going to attach to him. Now, I'm sure that's going to be like an end credit scene or something like that. I doubt we're going to see Venom. I doubt we're going to see Scorpion suited up with the Venom symbiote, you know what I mean, whooping Spider-Man's ass. But I think this is just a teaser for the second part, you know what I mean, for part 2. Because I'm sure that part 2, we're going to have Venom. Like an official Venom character. You know what I mean? Like Eddie Brock. You know? But this is crazy. He shared this on his Instagram. So that's what I wanted to go ahead and show you guys. That at some point, also, not only Eddie Brock that turns into Venom, also the Scorpion does. He gets a Venomized Scorpion. So that is crazy. That would be dope as hell. So, what else, Sean? Well, I got over, I don't know, like 3,000 comic books. I got a shitload of comic books. I got like all of the X-Men comics. I got a bunch of Spider-Man comic books. Like I don't have the actual, what are they called? The bust, you know, the actual, the big thick of the books. I have a shitload of comic books. You know what I mean? I got a lot. Let me see actually right here. I can tell you exactly. Oh, I got my account. Well, it's been a while. Let me see. Let me see if it'll tell me the exact number. It's been a while. Let's see. Log in. Yep, no, I gotta renew my subscription. It's been a while. Yeah, I got my comics. There's a online. There's an app that's called CLZ. CLZ, and then it's where I normally put all my comic books in. I gotta renew it. It's like $20 a year. But yeah, it expired. But yeah, I put all of my comic books on here, and then yeah, so I actually gotta renew that. But yeah, man, I got like over 3,000 comic books. I got boxes and boxes of comics, a bunch of Marvel, X-Men, all that good stuff. But yeah. What do you think, Josh Gash, Dr. Octopus, and MT? It would be dope. Like I said, it's all how they write the character, but I think that would be dope. Now, guys, comment below. Let me know what you guys thought about that. I mean, yo, I like that. I like that. It's gonna be dope. You know what I mean? I cannot wait. Like I said, we have some good Marvel movies coming this year alone. We have 3 of them. We got not 3 because Avengers: Secret Wars. That's next year. So this year we got Spider-Man coming out first, and then we got Avengers: Doomsday. You know what I mean? But yeah. And speaking of comic books, man, I gotta get a bunch of my comic books graded. I got like a shitload of comic books, like I said, like over 3,000 and some change. And there's a lot of them I gotta get graded. And they're not only Marvel, like they're DC. I got a shitload of like the Flash comic books, Batman, Superman. Like I got a lot of comic books. You know what I mean? So, yeah. But that being said, guys, comment below. Let me know you guys' thoughts when it comes to the Spider-Man. Are you guys excited? Obviously, this was like a little bit of a spoiler if most of this stuff even happens. You know what I mean? But I'm excited to see the Grey Hulk. Like, we're finally going to get the Hulk back boothless. You know what I mean? And so, it's going to be good. We're going to get the Grey Hulk. That's going to be crazy. That's gonna be crazy. I'm already done with Smart Hulk. Professor Hulk, I'm done with him. You know what I mean? So, but yo, check it out. That being said, with that down, let's go ahead now and move on to the final thing that I wanted to go ahead and do, guys. We're going to finally now. I got this in yesterday. Do an unboxing. So, and then at some point, then I gotta do the official unboxing and open up the hot toy and show you guys. But yeah, my hot toy collection is growing. You know what I mean? I ain't even gonna front. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 with this one. 14 with this one, I wanna say. So, yeah. So let's go ahead and not waste no more time. Let's open this baby up so you guys can see what the next one's gonna be in the collection. I'm excited about this one too, yo. I'm excited about this one. I don't know if I even have it. Boom, there you go. But yeah, for the Spider-Man movie, it's gonna be dope. It's gonna be, man. I know the second Spider-Man, like I said, is gonna have, and then this one is supposed to introduce the Osborn, Harry Osborn, which means that we're gonna get at some point. What do you guys think that they're gonna make that? Let's say, remember this is a whole new trilogy. So let's say, I know in part 2 they gotta have Venom, but let's say part 3, you guys think they're gonna do the Green Goblin? I want to see Ned turn into the Hobgoblin. I wonder if they're ever gonna do that storyline. So yeah. Ooh wee. Check this out, guys. Check this out. Oh yeah. Yeah. This box is big. I still got 2 haven't unboxed. I still have 2 of them there. Now this makes 3 of them that I still have to unbox and open up. Check that out. This is the Andrew Garfield, The Amazing Spider-Man. I know you got that glare. Too much glare though, but can't really see it that good, but you can see Andrew Garfield's face right in there. His head sculpt. The last Hot Toy unboxing I did was for the black suit Spider-Man from Tobey Maguire with the Venom suit. So this was dope. I'm still waiting for the what is it? The Tom Holland's Iron Spider-Man. That's another one that I'm waiting for. That's supposed to be coming as well. But I can see that glare. Let me see if I can. Too much glare. This light. Hold up. Let me see if I can move this light a little bit over like that. So you guys can get a better look. So this is gonna be a future. See the head sculpt right there. Andrew Garfield. So be on the lookout for this one, guys. This is also gonna be another future unboxing, just like the other 2 there that I gotta do. You guys already know. I still gotta open this one up. This is the Iron Man Mark V die-cast version. And the man himself, who we've been talking about. Boom. Dr. Doom. Still gotta open this one up. So make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, be on the lookout. I mean, and I have space now. I have space. So I have a detolf right there that's empty. And then I have 2 more spots in this detolf, and then in this cabinet I got 1, 2, 3, 4. I still got spots, so I got space to put them. You know, the only problem is this Spider-Man, like you guys can't see, right? If you look, like I got. See right there, you got the Tony Stark, and then you have the other hot toy right there, which is the Mark III construction suit. So like those don't fit in a detolf. You know what I mean? Because they're so damn tall. You know? But same thing is with this thing here. Because this thing has a base. And then the base alone, it doesn't even fit in the detolfs. So I think this I'm gonna have to wind up putting on on this counter right here that I got together with these guys. The Dr. Doom one, same thing. Like unless I put the Dr. Doom one in by itself, it has a big base. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's the only kind of messed up thing. Like the Iron Man Mark V, that'll fit fine in the detolf. But yeah, this Spider-Man and that Dr. Doom is not going to fit in the detolf. And then obviously I want to put it in with the base because he's hanging from like a big ass antenna. So you can put him on there. The antenna is too tall. So it doesn't fit in the detolfs at all. So, but you guys will see that when I do the unboxing for them. So be on the lookout for that. Alright guys, so that's it guys. Let me turn this light back this way. There we go. that being said, we're gonna go ahead and end it here. Guys, comment below. Let me know your thoughts on the videos. Let me know your thoughts on the hot toys. And once again, be on the lookout. I gotta do the unboxing for the Iron Man, Doctor Doom, and now the Amazing Spider-Man. And plus, like I said, there's some other ones that I'm waiting for. I think the next one that's coming is that Iron Spider-Man. So yeah, and plus some other ones, you know what I mean? But I think that's the next one now that's coming. Either that one or the Scarlet Witch, which I'm also waiting for. Like I said, it's like about slowly but surely now everything is starting to roll out. You know what I mean? So yeah, comment below, guys. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know if you guys are hot toys collectors, and shit, even if you guys are comic book collectors. You know what I mean? It's like, man, I gotta get a bunch of my comic books graded. I ain't even capping. I got so many, and there's, you know, and a lot of old ones too. You know, so, but yeah, comment below. Let me know you guys' thoughts on that one. So, that being said, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and end it here. This was dope. This was awesome. Hey, make sure you guys go ahead, subscribe to the channel. If you guys are new, ring that bell and let you know when I got all types of videos, toy hunts, unboxings, Lego builds, which I'm about to start jumping back on some Lego builds again. I got like about 20 different Lego sets. They're all Marvel that I gotta go ahead and build. You know what I mean? So I'm slacking on that. I gotta jump back onto that, and then be on the lookout for go to the Heroes and Villains Collectibles Instagram if you guys want to go ahead and check out the collection. You know, I got photos of the collection, photos of the Lego builds, photos of the hot toys, of the statues. You guys see we got some Ninja Turtles. We got it all. Alright? I mean, I mainly collect Marvel and Ninja Turtles. You know what I mean? That's my go-to. But yeah, guys. Alright? So that being said, this was dope. This was awesome. This has been another episode of Heroes and Villains Collectibles. I'm your boy, LC. Until next time, guys. Peace.